In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an Office 365 account to be used on a Microsoft Teams room system. I'm going to show you how to create a resource account in Exchange and then assign a Teams license and set a password for the account. So the first thing I do is go to portal.office.com and log in, and when I've done that I arrive at this page. I then press the icon up to the left, the 9 dots here, and press admin. What we see here will depend on the administrative level you are at. My account is a global administrator, which means I can see everything in this demo tenant I have here. I'm now going to press show all to get some more options, and down here I have Exchange, and when pressing that I get sent to Exchange Admin Center, and I then go to resources. Here I can create a new room, or a calendar resource actually. So I press add resource and I get to choose between room and equipment. So room, it's a room calendar will be created, and equipment, that's for example if we want to have a projector or something like that we can book in a calendar, or a car if we have a couple of cars in the office that we want to be able to book in Outlook. So I'll name this room room 1 for example, and create an email address, room1 at, and here we have my demojuly2.onmicrosoft.com. If I had my company account connected here, I would be able to choose between that one too. I can have several different addresses here, or domains here. I then press next because I don't have to enter any information in the rest of the fields here. I can do so, but I don't have to. I press next. The same thing here. I don't have to enter the information here. I press the next button, and here are some options that I can choose between. The default settings are to allow repeating meetings. That is, I can book a meeting every Monday, for example, or every first Tuesday in a new month or something like that. I then have allow scheduling only during work hours. That's not selected by default. Then we have auto accept meeting requests. That's for when we add a room to a calendar event. We want the room to accept the invitation without someone have to do that manually. So if it's not booked already, the room, it would be accepted. Then we have the option to automatically decline meetings outside of limits below. So for example, if we book a meeting a year before, then that would be declined with these settings. So 180 days, about half a year, and that's the time limit we can have for how far in the future we can book this room. We also have a maximum of 24 hours for each meeting. So if we want to be able to book, for example, a classroom for 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, we would have to create 3 different calendar events for that. Or we could enter something more like 240 hours, 10 days. We can also set this to the maximum of 1080 days into the future. Or we could uncheck this, so we don't use these settings. Then we press next, and now we are done with the settings for the account. We see here, this is the room account address that we will use in the future, and create. And then this process takes a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes. And there we are done. Resource mailbox creation successful. And I press done. And we can see the new room here. Room 1 with the address and a room type room. If I go back to the admin center and to users now, I can see the active users, so my account, and room 1, the new account. It's unlicensed, so we'll have to fix that. I'll press the room name here and licenses and apps, and I can choose the Microsoft Teams room standard, since that's what I have in this tenant. And I can also see what's included in that license. So Microsoft 365 audio conferencing, phone system, Intune, Teams of course. I'm recording this on the 11th of July, so in about 20 days the Skype for Business Online will disappear, since it's being retired by Microsoft. And the whiteboard option, since a MTR system can be used as a whiteboard too. And then I press Save Changes, and I have applied the license. The last thing I have to do is reset the password, or set the password. So I can choose automatically create a password. I don't have to do that. I can enter a password here, or I can let the system create one. I can also choose to require the user to change the password the first time they sign in. I don't want this for a room, since we actually create a password here. If we are not satisfied with the password that Microsoft creates, we can set our own one. But there is no sense in letting the system create one and then requiring the user to change that new password. So I press reset password, and then we see here a password has been created. I can now send this password to up to 5 recipients. So this one, for example, and I can also enter a semicolon and someone else. For example, that address. Okay, so, and then I send email and close. So you can see here now, room 1, the address, and it now has a Teams room standard license. So in this video we have created an account in Office 365 for a Teams room. We created the Exchange resource, we signed the account a license, and we set a password.